TJ Hawkins, he's been out the last couple of days for the most part. Just how's he feeling? What do you think about him for Sunday?
Yeah, well, he's gotten better every day, and we'll see what he looks like today. I'd say the same thing about Sewell. You know, both those guys, we'll see where they're at today for practice, post-practice, and go from there.
Both have a chance.
Yes.
One of those outside cornerback spots, you've obviously had a lot going on there with Jeff's injury and Bobby jumping in and some stuff there. But over on the other side, Monty's been pretty steady over there. Just what does that mean for your defense to have a guy there that's been pretty steady?
Well, you trying to jinx us or what? I mean, he's done a good job. He's been a steady force for us over there. And, you know, look, he's come up with a couple of turnovers. I'll tell you what, I feel like he's had a really good week of practice. You know, made quite a few plays, and it does mean a lot, you know, because he's you know, he's really our veteran, if you will, over there that's been pretty steady. So, you know, I think he's in a good place. I'm glad we got him.
Dan, you said after last week's loss that the team wasn't disappointed. They were frustrated. Now, you said you had a good week in practice. What is the morale heading into the game on Sunday?
Morale's been good. I mean, these guys did exactly what they needed to do, was let's go back to work, you know, and that's credit to the guys on this team, but I think even more importantly, our veteran leadership, you know. I think, you know, it's all about, here's what we know, you'll never correct the problem if we don't go back to work, and those guys did that. That's the first step, and at least it gives you a shot. So they have. It was up. The energy was up. We've had quite a few competitive periods. We try to mix them in every week, but I think we've had really more than we've done in a while, just to, you know, unscouted looks, O versus D, critical 4th and 2, 3rd and 2, red zone. We'll have another red zone today, and just dial it up and see who wins, you know. And so it's been good. The energy's been good, and there again, it's not about the energy. It's about those little details that make or break you in a game.
Talked a little bit about that yesterday, just how everyone, you know, is still buying in, still believing, despite the 1-4 start. And other places, you know, probably seen it, maybe been around places we've seen before where, you know, things start going down south if they're not winning. But that being said, how important is it to get a win just to have a reward for the guys, you know, the buy-in that, hey, this is, you know.
Yeah, look, winning solves a lot of issues, solves a lot of problems in this profession and most professions. So it certainly helps. It helps you get going. You know, helps you jump out of bed maybe a little bit better. And so, yeah, I mean, it does. Winning, I mean, that's what this is about, you know, is getting that first win for us and getting a win. You know, but at the end of the day, it's no matter what happens, man, you got to put your best foot forward, and we got to go back to work no matter what. You got to go back to work and find a way to improve. And you guys get tired of hearing me say this, but we are in a race to improve, and it's got to be that way every day, every week, every game.
Kind of a random question, but you know, the previous regime really liked practicing outdoors. It was the natural grass they said was kind of better for the joints. You seem to be a little more open to practicing indoors. Do you have a specific philosophy on indoors, outdoors?
No, look, I like practicing outdoors, and I know for the big guys it does. They like being outside. It's better for their joints. Makes them feel better, you know, but I also know we're playing on turf this week, and so Wednesday, you know, we were outdoors, and that gave them a reprieve from the turf. But then these last 2 days, we've gone in just because I think if that's what you're playing on, you probably need to do it at least a couple of days. So I try to be mindful of all that, and you know, look, when you're outdoors, it puts more of a toll on your muscles. When you're indoors, it puts more of a toll on your joints. So it's kind of you know, there's a balance there.
Yeah, you said you're adding a lot of 3rd and 4th down work to your periods, short yardage work. What have you learned this week about the situations from that work?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that it's, well, what you learn is you know, you learn a lot about how these guys handle, you know, pressure. Not only in the game you have an idea, but the more pressure you can put them under in practice, and they're going to see who steps up and maybe who doesn't do well. Who are the guys that are pretty inconsistent when you're in these gotta have it downs? I think some of that stuff shows up, but I think it also I think it breeds confidence. You know, the only way to gain confidence is demonstrated ability, and so to be able to go out there and demonstrate offensively that yes, we can convert on these. And now I'll be honest with you, it's been really 50-50. Defense is one half of them, offense is one half of them. But however, it's good because there's a competitive spirit to it, you know. And I just think the more we can put our guys in that, the better it is for all of us, as young as we are.
Yeah, you talked earlier, speaking of youth, you talked earlier this week about loading up some of the rookies more, maybe, or younger guys, and taking back on some of the other ones. How sort of exhaustive was that process? And I know injuries are a factor here, but like, where are you guys at with, you know, who needs more, who needs less? Do you have a good feel on that, the younger guys?
Well,
in game, I mean.
Yeah, just with who's on the roster, who needs more
You guys,
reps.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're looking at everybody. I mean, we'd love to find a way to get Jefferson to the game. We think he's a kid that, man, you'd love to give him some real game time experience. You know, the hard thing right now is getting him to the game, because special teams is where he's got to be able to help us first, and he's not quite there. But look, certainly all the corners are all getting work right now. I mean, every one of them. Bobby, Jerry's going to get some reps here. You know, we got Ballantyne. We may see something out of him at some point here. You know, you got Barnes who's doing well. So I feel like defensively, man, these guys are getting reps. You know, offensively, Jefferson would be the first one that comes to mind. I mean, it's a great question. I feel like we've got a ton of young guys that are getting a lot of work, valuable experience. Jefferson was the first one I thought of when you said that.
To Kyle's question about the third down, the fact that you guys are number 2 defensively on third down, has that helped this week as well too, just going against a defense that's been really, really good on third down?
It does, because look, there's some things our defense does, a lot of things our defense does on third down that are pretty good, and they're difficult. It's difficult, you know. I mean, you know, they put you in a bind with what they do. Man, they're going to load up the middle of the field on early downs, and then once you get to a certain down and distance, then the pressure comes, exotic looks, and so it can be hard. And so when you're in a mindset of, you know, like for the offense, you're preparing for Minnesota, but now here you go, it's 3rd and 6, and now you got to prepare for AG's flavor of the week, and you're like, oh, you know, you got to apply your rules and find a way to, you know, you go back to camp and say, man, we got to apply our rules and be able to play ball, because you never know. Minnesota's going to throw something out there that they hadn't thrown out in these first 4 games, and you got to be able to adapt. And as long as we're all on the same page, even if it's a right call, or the wrong call, it is the right call if we're all on the same page. That's kind of the important part of it.
A lot of defensive coordinators, first thing they look at is what a team does best and tries to take that away. When you got Dalvin Cook in the backfield and Thielen and Jefferson on the outside, where do you start with the defensive game plan against the Vikings?
Yeah, everything is about Cook. And look, 25's no slouch either now. That kid can run the ball. But the run game is – I really do believe that this team lives and dies by it. It all starts that way for them. If they can get it in a rhythm and they can – because once they're able to run it out of a certain formation, set, look, then they've got 2 plays off of that. And one of them is going to involve a shot play. And so I really do believe the onus is on stopping him first, and I think that'll help us on the back end with these receivers and Kirk Cousins throwing it.
A couple more guys.
Wow. Good. Minneapolis Miracle. I don't know. Have you been back there since that game?
Yes. Yeah, we actually played the following year. We went out there and won. Yeah, that was actually I was actually looking at some plays the other day. You know, just some of our some things that we did when we were up there, because we played them, I guess, 4 times in the last 4 years or 5 years, whatever that's been. And so you're just looking at the goods and bads and what they were doing. And look, there's a lot of things defensively they're doing different than they were back then, even, you know. But anyway, that came up, and I was about this close to like showing the team the whole sequence of the end of that game, but it was not quite there yet. That was rough, so, you know, but anyway, all right.